Final hour Overdrive continues. Brought to you by FanDuel, bringing you everything from the opening line to the final score. Bryan Hayes, Dog, Jeff O'Neill, Jamie Noodles McLennan, now up on TSN2. Cameron Maybin coming up with the MLB Network, longtime pro ball player himself. Catch up with Cameron, get his take on Jays Cleveland tonight, among other things around baseball. We got Game 4 of the NBA Finals tonight, Game 4 of the Cup Final tomorrow. Tracking the U.S. Open, Dear Hayesy-B later in the hour. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful day here in Toronto. It's supposed to be a great week, and Father's Day on Sunday. And we're all looking for Wolf T-shirts, right? Paying homage to Bill Belichick. We're all looking for Wolf T-shirts.
We gotta wear them on Fridays. I think we go Wolf on Fridays.
I like that idea.
Either under a blazer, if one of the Toronto sports team needs a win, we go Wolf. Mm-hmm. I think it's just a vibe where if we need them, we wear them.
I agree. It's just we got to get to a hotel, a lobby bar, and find one, right?
I'm gonna get us
in a
three
hotel right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna get us three. I know exactly where they are. Convenience store right around my house. They got a rack. Wolves, bears, wildlife, all of it.
The best. The best clothing.
Who buys them?
Going.
I don't know, man.
I don't know either. But that was always the best convenience stores. Like growing up, you would see like random shirts, and you'd be like, "Who's in here buying this stuff?" But now we know who. Like guys who had a big night that need a shirt.
Yeah,
that's basically who's buying it. They're
night.
getting gouged, right? They're getting gouged because you got to pay cash with that too. You can't put that on plastic. You know, your wife finds out like you're doing taxes the next year. She's like, "Why'd you buy a Wolf shirt?"
Dude, it can happen. Dude, it can happen to the best of people. You get gassed up and you're in a strange place and you don't know where anything is and it's dark and you're trying to get the hell out. You got a jet and you got no tarp and you got to get a Wolf shirt and you're desperate. Dude, you're desperate.
That's just science, man. It's a fact.
It is.
It's a fact.
You'll do anything and pay anything to get out of that situation.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Got to have a shirt. So, Dear Hayesy-B later in the hour. This has basically been a whole afternoon of Dear Hayesy-B. We've been talking about Bill Belichick and the jiu-jitsu instructor. And yet, you know, there's probably Oilers fans out there as well that want to write in and say, what am I supposed to do tomorrow night? Like, what do I do if you're an Oilers fan? It's such a weird viewing experience when you know it's over, and yet it's your team. It's the Cup final. Like, if you have tickets tomorrow night and you paid in advance thousands of dollars, what are you possibly thinking going to that game tomorrow night?
That could come up in Dear Hayesy-B because one guy was like, look, man, I could sell these and have cash for my season tickets next year. What do I do? Because I kind of know the outcome. What should I do?
Who's buying those, though, for like $3,000? Who's paying that price?
Somebody would probably want to see a team. If the Florida Panthers win the Stanley Cup, you get the experience of seeing a team win the Stanley Cup.
I think you know what? Like, if it's your team, you're going. Like, you can't tell me Leaf fans if the Leafs were in the Stanley Cup.
Exactly, Jamie.
They're still going. The building will be full. It just depends on, it'll be full on whether it's with you or you decided to put your tickets on StubHub, because somebody will go. Because you know what? Think about this. Regardless, if you're a father and you want to do a father-son thing, taking your kid to a Stanley Cup final game where maybe the cup gets handed out, that's a pretty cool experience.
Definitely
regardless
cool
of your fan base, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a win-win, right? If you're an Oilers fan and they win, you got to see them win a Cup final game, and hey, everything's alive, and it's Saturday night, the streets will be popping. If they lose, the consolation is Cup's in the building. There's Jerry. You can boo him, right?
Get to see it.
Get to see
but
the
it's an experience. Keep in mind, like these are Stanley Cup final games. Like,
all right, you sold me. Fine, you sold me. I'm going. Now, for the Jays, that's a different story. I saw a sneaky report that Jays are asking people for down payments on season tickets next year, like way before the trade deadline, something they haven't done in the past. Kind of feels a bit sneaky. Like, can you give us your money before we trade everyone and acknowledge we suck? Yeah, that's a greasy play.
That's tough.
But we got a guy with us here. We haven't had him on before. This could be awesome. Longtime MLB outfielder. You see him on the MLB Network. Here's Cameron Maybin joining us here on Overdrive. What's happening, Cameron? How you doing, man?
What's up, fellas? Can you hear me?
I got you. Yes, we got you. It's good. We can see it,
too.
It's great.
Appreciate you guys having me. Thank you.
We appreciate you doing this. You know, we obviously up here, we got Cleveland in town. The Jays hasn't been a blast, but we mentioned the trade deadline. You would have experienced that countless times throughout your career. We're still, about 6 weeks out from the trade deadline. But what's it like in the clubhouse? If your team's not playing up to expectation, there's rumors that maybe the GM could start shipping guys out. What are the vibes like in the clubhouse at that point?
You know what? It depends on the clubhouse. It depends on the leadership. And one thing I know about that Blue Jays clubhouse, they do have guys like George Springer. They do have veteran guys like Vladdy who have been around. They've got guys like Gosman who have been through it. I think even though they aren't playing their best baseball, the baseball that I think you thought they would be playing coming into this year, I think they have the right leaders that's going to try to continue to quiet the noise and keep the focus on the main thing, and that's trying to win baseball games. It's tough, man. It's tough when you're one of those guys, possibly. But I think when you look at this team, I think it's more speculation than anything. I personally don't know if they're going to ship off one or two of those guys. I think it'll be interesting to see. But this AL East is still up for grabs, I believe. I think you have the Yankees, you got the Orioles, but with the playoff format and you look at the pitching, if they get some guys healthy, you never know what can happen. So I don't know if they're completely out of it or completely selling just yet.
Cameron, when you look at the Jays, we talked about it last week. Like, in your opinion, your assessment of the team, do you think it would be worth it for them to try to add, to try to get better, to try to spark some life in their offense? Because they struggled to hit all season, like right from the get-go. Would you find it a worthwhile ordeal to try to add, to try to spark it, or sometimes you just got to let things play out and say, you know what, maybe we're not that good? How would you approach it?
Yeah, dog, that's a great question, and it's a great question because you're in the AL East. So I think when you talk about the division that you're in, I think that's when you have to have a realistic look on where are we going to be in the AL East. I mean, this is a division that I still say is the toughest division in baseball. I think it has the most parity in baseball where teams constantly beat up on each other, especially those last three teams in the division. But if you're going to add a bat, it would have to be a big splash. And you're hearing some rumblings right now of a guy like Luis Roberts Jr. It would have to be somebody like that, somebody that can come in and provide what I would think would be somewhat instant offense. But the problem you have there with a guy like him is injury pass. Is he going to be available? How often is he going to play? But when I look at the outfield, when I look at positions on the field, they're searching for everything they can do right now to try to find some type of offense. And I think right now it's tough when you look at what they have in the minor leagues. You got Yorelvis Martinez, you got Teeter. We don't know if those guys are ready. So I think they need a big bat, a guy that is in his prime per se as well, and a guy that can come in and bring some instant production. And the first guy that I look at is a guy like Luis Roberts. So I think there are some question marks, but can that sway you in the AL East? I don't know, dog. So that's why that's such a great question. Even a guy like that, you don't know what his injury, how he's going to, finish the season healthy or not. So is it worth the risk and just, not really still being in it per se?
With Cameron Maybin, yeah, and like obviously it's clear the Jays, among other teams, like they're chasing the third wild card right now, maybe the second wild card, but reality's in front of them. Baltimore and the Yankees. Baltimore's 12 games up on them. The Yankees are 14.5, and those teams aren't going to slow down. And you look at what the Yankees represent right now, and you were there for a short while. You saw Aaron Judge up close and personal. He had a bit of a slow start. He is cooking with gas now. And, Soto, it looks like he avoided a pretty significant injury. And yet last year, it was, by their standards, a disaster in New York, and they've turned it around so quickly. That's with Cole not even available to them. What do you make of the pursuit of the top spot in the AL East? Like you mentioned, how great this division is. Who do you like, Yankees or Orioles by the end of the season?
Well, the Yankees fans are going to hate me for this because I talk a lot of Yankees baseball, but I picked the Orioles at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to stick with the Orioles because of their starting depth rotation. When you think of their starting depth, I mean, what they're able to do right now, and you look at Bradish, who's going to be going night, they got him back. That's a jolt in the arm. You look at what Irvin has been doing this year, a guy that was a bullpen guy, with a winning record, a sub-3 ERA, Grayson Rodriguez. So, and I think, their biggest thing is going to how do they go out and maybe get another bullpen arm to really kind of solidify the back end. But when you look at them from a depth perspective, I think that they will find a way to win the division. But it's going to be a tight race because the one thing about the Yankees that I'm seeing this year that I haven't seen in years past is that when you talk about Yankees baseball, it can be somewhat of a serious brand of baseball, a lot of pressure. Well, this group is playing with a freedom and a looseness that I don't think you've seen before. I think you add some personalities like Verdugo, Soto, even a guy like Trent Grisham. You know, he's a quirky type of personality. So you add those type of guys, and then you still have veteran leadership like Rizzo, who isn't doing what he needs to do, but he's the type of guy that really galvanizes the troops and gets them going when things aren't great. So it's going to be a fun race towards the end, but I'm still picking the Baltimore Orioles.
I want to bring you back to the Blue Jays just very quickly. I wanted from the outside your opinion on Vladdy and Bo Bichette. What is the league and what do you make of them? Because we know what we think of them in Toronto, but what is the perception around the league and maybe what their ceiling is? Because I don't know if they've achieved it or are they what they are as the players right now?
Well, I think one thing that happens in baseball especially, we tend to get amnesia, right? And I say that because this game is extremely difficult. And we have guys like Vladdy, guys like Bo who come in early, who come on the scene, who are – who excel beyond expectation, right? And we get spoiled and we think this is who that guy's supposed to be each and every year. Well, you got 29 of the teams that get paid to make adjustments, right? There's a thing called an advanced scouting report. And every player, I don't care who you are, we all have holes, right? And at times things tend to break down. And when I look at this Toronto team and look at the pressure and look at the weight of Bo Bichette and Vladdy Jr. and at one point Kevin Biggio, these baby Jays that were supposed to carry this organization into something spectacular, which I think is a lot to ask for young guys. So I think that's why they try to go out and add guys like George Springer. But Father Time, he's a SOB. I mean, right now you're seeing these guys age. I mean, in a way that nobody expected. Kevin Kiermaier, you bring him in. You bring Justin Turner in, and these guys are not performing up to par. And I think a lot of it has to do with age, So you try to go put some more veteran established guys around them to take that pressure off of them. But I think we sometimes put too much on these guys. They're amazing players. They're great players. But, those early years that we saw, you're spry, you're full of energy. You're not thinking a whole lot. You're just playing. And sometimes the worst thing that happens to baseball players is we start overthinking things, right? And that's when the game actually starts to become difficult, is when we start overthinking this, or this is what I did, this year, and this is what they expect. So I think you're looking at some guys right now that have had a lot of expectation to carry a ball club in a really tough division, and they haven't done it. And I think you're starting to see some of that pressure start to wear on those guys a little bit.
Well, Cameron, the one thing, though, a counterpoint is if you want that big contract, if you want to get paid like a big boy, there's no saying, other teams are making adjustments. You just get it done, man.
Facts.
Like you just
Amen.
You just get it done, and the best players that get paid the most and have those big contracts like Ohtani or Judge or any other superstar in the league, there's no saying, the league's making adjustments. They just get it done. So if those guys,
I will say that. Go ahead, dog, and you make a great point, and this is why I want to emphasize this: player development, analytic department. And for people who don't know what analytics are, it's just information. That's all it is. It's just information to try to make the game a little bit easier. It's not something new that's been going on. We just started to throw the word analytics around, and now people don't know what's going on. But when I look around the league and having experience with the Yankees organization, one thing they do a great job of, even when you have great players, the people around them, they make it easier. Whether it's, hey, you're swinging that the pitch up and out over the plate, and you're a 180 career average hitter on that pitch, where you need to be looking for the ball closer to you. Hey, this month you chased that 42%. We need to get you back in the go. Like, those little things sometimes are so important. And you look at the Dodgers, and that's why I say sometimes, who's running the show? And not to point any fingers at Blue Jays front office staff, but player development. Even though you're in the big leagues, you have to have people around these guys that can identify a problem and go, hey, this is what you do well. Get back to that. And it helps you, doggy, like you say, get back on track. And you don't have to worry about those excuses, because you use two organizations that maybe have the greatest analytic department in all of baseball, and and not mentioning Tampa Bay Rays. If I'm the Blue Jays, or and the Rays call me, the Dodgers call me, the Yankees call me, maybe I'm scratching my head. Maybe there's something maybe there's a page we skip. You know what I'm saying? Because again, I said it all offseason. Teoscar Hernandez, he's done, blah, blah, Seattle. Well, Seattle's a very hard place to hit. I played for Seattle. I think they could do a much better job of player development when it comes to offense. And I said, go put him in a Dodger uniform and watch how they fix that guy. Watch how they get that guy right, because and there's a long example. Chris Taylor, Jason Hayward, Kike Hernandez, guys that were Max Muncy, guys that were and all of a sudden, hey,
they start mashing.
Just the right information, and they're mashing. So again, not to point any fingers, but I'm telling you that stuff is extremely important. Who are the guys in place getting these guys right and let them know this is what you do well, this is what you need to stick to, and this is what's going to give you success, instead of trying to cover a bunch of different avenues that really aren't for you.
We're chatting with Cameron Maybin. You tweeted out about last night, I guess. Who is the most annoying or tired baseball player to watch right now? Doesn't mean they're a bad guy, just annoying to watch.
Wow, that's a rosy subject.
I like that.
I was watching the game last night, and I love having fun, but a lot of it too is like respecting the game. It's hard as hell out here, and when you see guys batting 190 and batting 180, and listen, I've struggled. But one thing I've always done was respect the game. And when I see guys out here, doing these type of antics and I'm just like, bro, you're hitting 180. Like, you're actually lucky we're in a day and age where you're still around, because half of these guys, if you're hitting below the Mendoza line, you're up out of here. So yeah. I was watching the game last night. Dude hitting 170, 187. He got a walk and he's pimping walks. And I'm just like, have some feel, bro. Like, you're grinding. So yeah. That's why I made that tweet. So
I like it, man. Fun with it. Listen, I bet you got a lot of answers up here in Toronto. Because,
oh, my goodness. Oh, a ton of them.
It's tough. This offense, and the thing is, guys that are beloved here, like everyone loves George Springer, but, man, George is – you talk about the Mendoza line. He's straddling him, man, and he's been doing it all year. Bo's been right there as well. Like, Bichette's approach at the plate, he just gets up and swings. Like, that's his approach. He's swinging. He's hacking. He doesn't adjust. He doesn't find patience. It's tiring, man. It's tough to watch every single night.
It is hard to watch. And it's hard to watch when you know the talent that's in that clubhouse. And that's why I say, I've always said it, and people have asked me, and I'm not lobbying anything, but I always said, if I work for an organization, I want to be in the front office, because I think it trickles down. What is our organizational mindset? What are we trying to accomplish as offense, as a pitching staff? And I think those things are important. But like you said, when you see a guy going up there with that type of talent, and there's no real approach right now, it's like, who's in that guy's ear? Who's not afraid to talk to the quote-unquote superstar and say, hey, man, what the hell are you doing? Like, let's have an approach right here. Let's sacrifice 20 at-bats and go, hey, I'm looking one pitch, one spot, and I'm locking in on it. And then you do, and you go up there and you're okay with whatever happens, but just because you have a game plan. So I'm seeing guys who right now are pressing, and it looks like, instead of trying to pass the baton, it looks like every guy's trying to take one swing that gets everybody going, instead of just playing baseball, passing the baton, and trying to figure out a way to get a win. Not who won the game for us, but can everybody do their part individually to help us win today? And I think that's what you're seeing. And a perfect example, a team like the Guardians, right? Nobody expecting the Guardians. You know what they do extremely well? Every guy in that lineup stars in their role. You don't have one guy trying to be Jose Ramirez and one guy trying to be Josh Naylor. Everybody stars in their role, and that's when you see teams have success, when guys know who they are.
But Cameron, you know the deal, man. You just talked about talking to a star player saying, what the hell are you doing at the plate? Everyone these days, they think they know everything, and they're too good for their own team's good. And they're like, don't you tell me what to do. I'm the boss. And it's ridiculous. That's how everyone is nowadays. It's like, I don't want anybody telling me what to do. It's crazy. You know what? I always say the game is lacking humility. And one thing I continue to say as I get on this side of it, there's no stat for character, doggy, and you're right. And a lot of that character goes with putting ego to the side and going to somebody and go, hey, what do you see, man? What the hell you got? Instead, like you said, instead of the I got it, I'll figure out mentality. No, bro, you need some help. And this is what I'm seeing. So you're absolutely right. Well, the approach should be if you keep doing that stupid garbage and costing us baseball team, you're not going to keep going up to bat. Very simple. Jim Leyland, but everyone's afraid to do that. Hall of Famer, and I said, and very much deserved. Jim Leyland, you know what he used to say? He used to have a spring training meeting. The meeting was all of 10 minutes. He used to come in and say, hey, guys, he's smoking a cigarette.
He's like, hey, guys, he goes, I don't care how old you are. I don't care what you look like. I don't care who you are. I'm playing the best. I'm playing guys that are ready. All right, let's go. That's it. I don't care if you're on contract. I don't care if you're making $20 million. If you're underperforming, your ass is going down. Like, there was an expectation of being ready. And again, we don't have that anymore. So now a dude can be hitting 197, pimping walks, and he hits 8 homers, and he's got 8 homers, and it's like, oh, I'm the freaking man. Instead of a guy like, hey, dude, put the freaking ball in play. You're fast. You can run. So accountability, you're absolutely right, man. It's frustrating to watch this nowadays.
Now, just for clarification, because we're some old school hockey guys, and I know I once had a trainer in the NHL who smoked in the training room. So did Jim Leyland, would he hack a dart anywhere in the clubhouse, or was it kind of
clubhouse? Listen, clubhouse, walking around in his like tidy whitey draw, like the long john white, like no pants. Like, just cruise. It was like, I mean, every day, dude, just cruising up and down. I mean, literally, it was the best. It was the best, man, I'm telling you.
Why would he try to hide it in the dugout?
And he would
that's just the way he gripped it, man.
He also, so you couldn't see it. You don't want to hear it. Like, he keep it right there so you couldn't see it. And he just hit it, hit it a couple of times. Hey, man, it worked. It worked, man.
I love it.
He got his point across.
Yes, he sure did. Cameron Maybin, quickly before we get you out of here, we've been talking about U.S. Opens down at Pinehurst. O-Dog played for the Carolina Hurricanes. We'll get down there in August. You're from Asheville. Playing baseball in July in Asheville. Like, how hot is it down there, man? How did you survive that in the summer times?
Muggy. Well, they called me slim for a reason, and it wasn't because I couldn't keep gaining weight. It was because I couldn't keep weight on, bro. It was crazy. I mean, just sweating, muggy. I mean, anything you can imagine, man. Sticky, then you got mosquitoes coming out. It wasn't fun, all right? It wasn't fun. It built thick skin. It built a lot of resilience. But you know what? I call this God's country, man. It's a beautiful place to play baseball. And, Carolinas is a beautiful place to be, man.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll put Carolina in August as hotter than anywhere on the face of the universe. I'm telling you, there's nowhere hotter, man.
Absolutely. Listen, my back is sweating right now indoors, and I got the AC cranking right now. It's 90, and it feels like 103 right now.
I love it. Well, stay cool. We appreciate you doing this, man. This has been great, Cameron. Keep
Anytime,
up the good stuff.
I appreciate you guys, man. I love what you guys are doing. It's awesome. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Keep on keeping it real. That's the best part about you guys. You keep it real.
You can bank on that. Thanks, Cameron. Appreciate it. There's Cameron Maybin. Oh, what an awesome guy. I love that Jim Leyland, man. Just straight to the point, smoking a cigarette, and
saying, I'm playing the best guys. So, and the meeting took 10 minutes.
And
I don't
no
care
one's going to call his bluff. Like, no one's calling his bluff.
Dude, if you want to see a great clip on YouTube, get the clip of Jimmy Leyland giving it to Barry Bonds in Pittsburgh, man.
Really?
It was just an FU contest where he was like, Barry, just look it up on YouTube. Barry Bonds, Jimmy Leland. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
Maybe we could mute it and just let Joe from the Bridge play it for the end of the show. It's
I'm
awesome.
watching it right now. He's got they're just face to face, and he's leaning into
he is not
too.
taking Barry Bonds' garbage. He just gives it to him. See if you can mute it, Joe from the Bridge.
It's probably there's so many swear words in there,
yeah.
That would be an example of like Barry Bonds. You talk about a guy who was at the top of his game,
and he had an attitude problem. And Jimmy Leyland with the darts, look at these guys. He's Barry Bonds is like,
watch how close he gets to it. Just leaning in and
he does not care. Barry Bonds used to have an attitude, and Jimmy just said, "I'm not dealing with it, man."
Can you imagine
giving it to him?
What Jim Leyland's the brim of his hat smelled like?
Oh my God! It'd be like a bar floor. You know, at the end of the night, they're cleaning up a bar floor. If you grabbed his chapeau out of his stall, it would just be a bar floor.
Yeah. Just it would soak up every single ounce of smoke.
If you just that some type of punishment, if you just taped it to your face, like that is just
that's it.
Awful.
You go 0 for 4 and strike out 3 times. You get Jim Leyland's hat stapled to your forehead.
Yes.
You've got to wear it home that night. Oh, that's
your
ridiculous.
punishment. All right, best bets still to come, and Dear Hayesy-B coming up. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN 2. Mail-in in Fridays brought to you by Boston Pizza, Canada's favorite sports bar. BP is all in on supporting the Oilers to end the 30-year drought. They're changing their logo from red to orange until the Oilers win it. Boston Pizza wants all of Canada on board to bring the cup home where it belongs. See you for Puck Drop and join us in cheering on the good guys. History awaits. Game 4 tomorrow night. Going to need a miracle here. The Oilers are going to need a miracle. And I think the same thing can be said for Tiger Woods, and I don't think it's likely. I believe he's in the clubhouse at +7. That's it for Tiger. Yeah, that's going to be the end of the road for Tiger. Not a surprise, you know. Never plays toughest course you're ever going to play in a calendar year. 7 over is actually not bad. Like, it's really not. He you know, Phil Mickelson's +12, +14. Tiger at 7 over is not horrible, but it's not good enough to make the cut. So there you go. We'll get to our best bets later in the hour. You guys ready for Dear Hayesy-B?
Let's go.
Insight, the ability to see and understand why you do the things you do.
Dear Hayesy-B.
We're going to go down there and have a donkey barbecue, and I'm going to furnish the ass, right?
You don't want to hide a Mars bar in your sleeping bag when there's a bear outside the tent.
You guys know the deal. We're going to win awards for this segment, helping people, right?
Yep.
That's what we do. We just get entries from people. They give us their problems, and we do our best with our knowledge and our worldly knowledge to help them out. Hayesy-B, I'd like you to start with this one because I think it's a bunch of different things. And Noodles, I think you'll have some great insight as well.
Sure.
Dear Hayesy-B, annual Father's Day golf day Saturday. My mom, brother, and I take our dad out for a round every year. My dad only drinks beer, but every year he gets into the birdie juice and we lose him. He has a wedding ceremony Saturday evening. How do we tame this bear?
Ooh, yeah, this one is...
Because it's his day.
Yeah, this one's tough because the birdie juice, you know, I don't know. Is this guy roll the rock? Is he a scratch? I mean, how many birdies are we talking about here? And maybe it's not even birdies. It could be net birdies. That's where it gets dangerous. You start rolling in the James Duthie 4 for 3s, and the birdie juice comes out, it's time to floor it. I don't think there's a way to tame the bear on his day.
I think you let him howl. You get him a wolf shirt and you let him howl.
That's right. I think you embrace it. You say it's going to be a beautiful day. We're all going to have a good time. He's going to have a good time. We're at the wedding ceremony tonight. Everyone's going to have to accept this is what's coming.
But if this guy's getting
on
tuned up, it's a different element when the mom's around.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
The mom would be like,
that can benefit the whole crew because your mom's going to be able to probably keep him on a bit of a leash, right? Like, take it easy, Bob.
Give him an earful if he needs it type of thing.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, he'll tell you and your brother to stuff it, but,
Yeah.
you know, he's not going to do the same if your mom's like, hey, tone it down. So, actually, I think your mom being there is probably a pretty good buffer to make sure that everything is smooth and just have yourself a great time. And if anything, floor it on the front and take it easy on the back nine.
All right.
Noodles, you agree with that? You just let it fly.
I think with the mom there, I think also it is his day. You kind of just got to chew on it. You know, if he gets out of line, maybe you say something. But I think, you know, the fact that the wife is there, maybe she can give him a piece of her mind and kind of keep him in line.
It's all good.
That's
good.
what I would say.
All right,
Yeah.
what else?
Here's the one I was talking about, Hayesy-B. Dear Hayesy-B, as an Oilers fan and season ticket holder, I have an opportunity to sell Game 4 ticks to cover half the cost of the whole season ticks. I didn't go to Game 3, my boy did. Do I sell Game 4 ticks in hopes I get to see Game 6? Go to Game 4, ? Sell them both? We making it to 6 and we'll be back next year, ? What should he do?
Yeah, this is...
What would you do? I guess the people want to know.
I guess it would come down to how much you value experience. And I guess I would probably keep them and go to the game and be able to say, assuming this is an Oiler fan, obviously, if he's got Oilers season tickets, I got to see my favorite team play in a Cup final. I think that's valuable as a fan. You know, we always talk about bucket list items. A lot of times that's about going somewhere. I got to get to Augusta. Right. I got to go to Lambeau. I got to go to Fenway. This is about a bucket list experience that you can't control. Your team has to control it. And they've granted you this. And, yes, you're bent out of shape and bummed out because they're down 0-3 and they're probably going to lose the Cup. And maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's not. I mean, the Oilers could win tomorrow night. Of course they could win tomorrow night. So I think I'd go because I think I'd want to be able to check off a bucket list item and say, I saw my favorite team live in my seats playing a Cup final game. I'd go. That would be my suggestion. I
think it's fair because you don't have the hope that there is a game 6. You're going. It's either tomorrow or you hope, but I don't think that's the case. So you're right, Hazy. Like I think from a fan's perspective, you have season tickets for a reason. Mm-hmm. Like it's not an obligation unless you're an entertainer. Like if that's part of your job, you got to take guys to the game. Like that, I would like some context with that. But there's a reason why you have season tickets to go and watch your team play. And it is unique. Like leading up to the game yesterday, just kind of us doing hits, the outside, there was a buzz. Obviously, people are drinking early, enjoying
just
themselves.
Just go for the experience. What the hell? Cheer your team on.
And the thing is if it's a financial thing, yes, you could probably flip them and get half the season tickets covered for next year. But you would miss out on it. Say they did win that game. You'd like to see them win a home game.
Here's another angle. If you go tomorrow and they win Game 5, sell Game 6, you'll get double the price for that. If
that's
they're back
true.
in it.
You could cover your full season of season tickets if you sell Game 6.
If it's 3-2 and they're coming home for Game 6, then people are going to be energized and be like, here we go. It's a miracle. It's going to happen. McDavid, prophecy. What was the 50-50 last night? I never –
4.5 million.
No, it was over 5. At one point, I thought it was 5.2.
So did someone win it?
No, I think the draw is after tomorrow night.
Oh,
Game
so they
4.
accumulate?
I have a ongoing, I chip in with some friends here. Like it'll be my turn to put 100 in, their turn to put 100 in with two of my friends, Dan and Shayla, and they have to buy it because you have to be an Alberta resident.
Right.
So you get a group together and do it. I can't remember who did our last thing, but I think it's after tomorrow's game. But right now, I think it's north of 5.2 or something. I thought I saw.
That is significant.
Crazy money, right? Like
that is crazy money. And I owe some money because there was a hole-in-one at the Open today. Sepp Straka his squares.
Oh,
and
wow.
Actually, I think Francesco Molinari may have just hit a hole-in-one to make the cut. Imagine
on 9?
I'll bet you on 9 he just hit a hole-in-one to make the cut. I got to look that up, but that's wild. That's what happened.
Wow.
Anyway, let me see here. Yes, hole-in-one on 9. And he is 5 over par. He may have just made the cut. Wow. Anyway.
So Scotty Scheffler made the cut at 5 over.
As of now, it's still +4 is the projected cut. But it looks like it's trending based on the way they think guys are going to end and who's going to get up and who's going to fall out, that it could be +5. But Molinari just aced the 9th hole to get to 5 over on the tournament, which is crazy. All right, what else do we have?
Hayesy-B, I'd like you to go first. Unfortunately, I'll follow you because you probably have experience with this. You were Griff. I was Griff. You talked about the weather. Dear Hayesy-B, the weather is going to be scorching next week, and all of my friends are having a pool party. There will be a lot of people there, and the girls will be around too, but I have one issue. I'm always used to swimming with my shirt on. It's just become a routine for me. I'm pretty nervous how people will look at this. How should I go about this? Paul and Barry.
Okay, shirt on in the pool guy. Yeah, I know what's up. I know. I
Have
know
you ever, Hazy?
I don't remember ever being shirt on in the pool. I know I got accused of that by you, both of you, among
I
others.
never accused you of that.
I
ever.
remember vividly being like, well, you wear a shirt in the pool. Like, no, I don't. Like, why would you presume that? It was
You
just
told us you did when you were down in Florida with your family. You kept your shirt on in the pool.
I don't recall ever doing that. Why would I do that with my family? What do I care?
Dude, you told us that, man. I don't.
Maybe there was a time. Maybe it was like a wolf shirt type of scene where you had.
Anyway, what do you recommend this guy do around the ladies?
I think you go with comfort. I think you go with comfort, and if it's shirt on in the pool, then you're shirt on in the pool guy. Cannonball, be the life of the party, right? Get up on the diving board, do what you're gonna do. Pull a Ron Burgundy and say, ladies and gentlemen, I need your attention. And then cannonball, no one's even going to know what's going on. And then it's not about shirt on in the pool guy. It's, hey, life of the party guy. All right? Shirt on in the pool guy can still be life of the party guy. Still can happen. So I'd go with comfort level. If that's usually your routine, just rock the shirt, man. Go a full bodysuit. Like, take it to a completely different level. Show up as if you're about to scuba dive. That's the move.
I think you go with comfort, and there's no shame in that.
Yeah.
You don't know anybody.
I think you guys are wrong. You cannot, depending how old this guy is, if he's 24 and you're in the groove where it's like the hot party, and I only went in the pool with my shirt on in Mexico because of sunburn. That's it. It's not because I was a moose.
Okay.
All right.
But you cannot wear your shirt in the pool if you want to make a move.
Yeah, but,
Hayes, you know this.
What if you're okay, let me just ask a question then. What if you are
Can you imagine swimming up and being like, from around here?
Yeah. Is that a wolf shirt you're wearing?
With a wet wolf shirt in the pool.
What if you're a hairy moose, though? Like, that's the thing.
So be
I know, but
that's what you're bringing.
You're covering up the hair and the moose part, and you're just rolling up. The thing is if you're a bear, a lot of people have hairy backs and necks and stuff like that. Of course. Pull yourself together. Put a shirt on and
not in the pool if it's 30 degrees.
No,
dude, it's a heat wave next week. It's a heat wave.
Okay, so if you can, listen, I don't care. But I said, just do whatever makes you comfortable. Whatever you're comfortable with.
I totally agree.
No, but just be cool with no tarp on. I don't care. You got man boobs. You got other things going on. Just get the shirt off and get in there and act like you own that pool. And that's how you will make things happen and make moves.
Okay.
Because if you wear some crummy T-shirt in there, you look it's a no. Act like you own it. If you're a big dude, you just own it.
Okay.
That's fair.
All right. Wise words. I don't know. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not sure. We didn't establish much here. We kind of see it differently, but just get after that pool party. Go have a great time. That's ultimately all that matters. Go have a great time.
Hayesy, I'm curious to see because I know this one firsthand. I'm set to go out golfing on the golf course with my 3 friends, and they are amped to get out for their first time of the year. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are in a fitness phase, and all of them are adamant on walking the course, and I have no interest in doing that. I feel like they will look differently if I don't take the cart. How would you go about this? James in Leamington.
This sucks, man. If you're committed to a cart, this is just like the shirt in the pool. If you're a cart guy, who cares what anyone else is doing?
Dude, I totally agree.
Yeah, let them walk. Go ahead. And guess what you'll be doing? Cruising. And you're going to have cups. You're going to have drinks. You're going to have music on possibly. You're going to have the phone. You're going to be filling out the card. Walking, guys, it's a pain to fill out the card, right? You are going to be the source of entertainment, of information. And I guarantee you those guys will make the turn, especially if it's going to be hot. And they're going to say, what the hell are we doing? Look at this guy. Yeah. Look at him. He's shooting the lights out, and he's in his own cart. I say, if you're a cart guy, screw it, man. I'm not making my call based on what other people are doing. Like, I go single cart all the time. Like, that's my move. You guys want to double up, double up. You want to walk, you can walk. You're going to carry, you're going to have a pull cart. I don't care what anyone else is doing. I salute it all. It's all your call. My call is I'm riding.
I do it every Friday with my friends. I do it every Friday. I have a Friday game, and everyone walks except me. I go ahead, and some.
Yeah, Trump.
Why is it funny?
I love the image because I've been there. I know what it's like. You are burning rubber, and these guys are walking.
They're walking up, and you're at the green already.
It's so funny. Like when you are flooring it down the fairway, and they're still on the tee. It's so good. It's so
Dude,
funny.
I don't do that. But it's human nature when you're in a cart and everyone's walking. You're ahead of the game a little bit.
Yes.
I'm respectful, but I wait for them to hit. But I do not get out of control. I do not get out of control with that cart.
It's so good, man.
Yeah.
It's so
See,
good.
if I golfed, I would have a
I know
cart.
it.
100%. I would have a cart no matter, and I wouldn't care what people thought.
That's right.
Have your own cart.
Yep.
And I
Make
love
your
the
own
fact
choice.
that
Noodles,
doesn't
one
matter.
last one. I'd like you to go first.
Yeah.
I got a golf tourney lined up before Father's Day. We'll be flooring it. There will be pool, shuffleboard, indoor darts, U.S. Open, gambling, etc. If I am home by 3 a.m., it will be a miracle. Should I have a free pass to be a deadbeat dad Sunday, or is the tourney day itself my free pass?
No, I think you get a free pass to have a deadbeat dad Sunday. That's what it's all about. Is you probably all year worked very hard, and the reward is to go out and enjoy yourself. And if you want to hang out on a Sunday and just lay on the couch and watch TV, and people want to, you can have a little dinner that night to kind of soak up some of the booze or a hangover type of thing, you're fine. That's the way I would feel. Like I don't think it depends on how chippy your loved ones would be if they've got something planned, maybe brunch or something.
That's
and
the
you
issue.
can't get out of bed, right?
Yeah.
If they've
That's
got
the
a brunch
problem.
planned,
I think
that's
you
the
got to
problem.
keep it on the rails and just wake up with the fam. And then if you want to do golf in the afternoon with the boys and kind of refloor it mildly.
I think it depends on where you are with your family. Like I have got young kids. They're going to be up and excited at like 7:30.
Right. They want to make you breakfast, do whatever. And it's like if
Right.
you're gooned in the basement sleeping with a wolf shirt on, they're like, look at this guy.
Yeah, try to avoid
That's
that.
true.
I agree with you. Like if you don't have if obviously you got to have kids to be having a Father's Day here, but if you've got a newborn, they're not going to know the difference. If your kids are in their teenage years or 20s or whatever, they'll see you for dinner if you're lucky. But if you're in the wheelhouse of under 10, under 12, keep it on the rails. Go have a good time. But keep it on the rails.
A lot of it depends on what's planned that next day. Because as I was talking, I was like talking about dinner, and usually it's like breakfast or brunch that day. So if you're going to be a mess, I would say you got to keep it on the rails. But if you just have a dinner plan the next day, then go out because you'll be fine by dinner.
Absolutely. All right, there you go. Mail-in and Fridays brought to you by Boston Pizza. There's a place you can get to, right, on a Sunday. That'll be a beautiful thing. Canada's favorite sports bar. BP's all in on supporting the Oilers to end the 30-year drought. They're changing their logo from red to orange until the Oilers win it. Boston Pizza wants all of Canada on board to bring the cup home where it belongs. See you for Puck Drop and join us on Cheering on the Good Guys. History awaits. Best bets coming up. We'll get you a final update on the U.S. Open. Jays in action tonight. Game 4 NBA Finals. Game 4 Cup Final. Tomorrow we'll tee that up as well. Overdrive continues. TSN 1050 and on TSN Plus. All right, today's Best Bets powered by FanDuel. Make your picks and assemble a same-game parlay in seconds on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Panthers money line under 5.5 goals tomorrow night parlayed. Paying about plus 240 on FanDuel. I think the Cup, it's going to be in the building tomorrow night. I think it probably gets handed out. I think it's like a grinded out. Florida's just going to smother them. Probably come out flying. And could see a 4-1 win tomorrow night. 3-1 win tomorrow night, 3-2. Panthers in the under. Today's Best Bets powered by FanDuel. FanDuel's goal in the first 10 minutes is the most electric bet in hockey and can be included in a same-game parlay on any NHL game. Please play responsibly. 19 plus, physically located in Ontario. Tiger Woods just wrapped up the U.S. Open, +7. He'll miss the cut. The cut is now at +5. So Scheffler, it looks like, will make the weekend.
Wow.
Nice.
And
Tiger, by the way, said may or may not be my last. That's not. He's going to keep. That's all he's got, man. He'll keep wheeling out there.
Yeah, may or may not be his last U.S. Open. I could see him looking at the Open, though, as an impossibility. Like, it's too hard. You can't do it. Like if he's going to shave one of the majors, it would be the U.S. Open, I think.
Dude, why torture yourself? Like, he's not good enough. Like, he's not healthy enough / good enough to go out there and play against those guys on those golf courses.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
That's it.
Right.
You know, I think Augusta, he'll keep playing because it's Augusta, and you know, you can make the cut there, and you know, that's the thing. The Open is just, it's too tough. Like he's been prepping a lot. You could see like it looks like his energy's there a little bit more. He's got more stamina. Just the course is too tough. When you're not playing, you're not sharp. Doesn't matter who you are. It's not going to happen. So yeah, you got that. You got the Jays in action tonight. Gosman on the mound. Guardians in town. Cleveland's 43-23. They've been great. It's going to be a tough weekend for the Jays. See what they've got in Game 4 of the NBA Finals on Monday. Are we talking NBA, NHL games, or are we into the offseason for both?
We're done, so, bud. It's
probably
game over.
Both. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
I can't get a read. I mean, at least I think one season is over for one sport. Don't know what it is. You know?
I feel like Boston wins tonight, possibly smokes Dallas. But we'll see. All right, there you go. And, you know, Germany 5-1 over Scotland. The Euros are officially underway. This time next week, Copa America, Canada versus Argentina down in Atlanta. All on TSN. Nice. It's going to be great. All right, happy Father's Day to you guys and everyone else out there, all the other dads out there. Thanks to everyone behind the scenes for helping out. We appreciate it. Everyone for tuning in today, TV, radio, podcast, web. We appreciate that. We're out of here. Enjoy your evenings. Enjoy your weekends. We're back Monday at...
Hazy, you said it. You went in the pool a lot with no shirt on. It's not a lie. 4 p.m.